One, let's go.
Welcome, viewers and residents of Homa Bay Town constituency. I'm Solomon, and today we are hosting an important person. Is going to tell us his name. Welcome, Mheshimiwa. Thank you for having us this day. And we just want to know, tell us your full names, where you come from in Homa Bay, and where your roots are.
Yeah, thank you very much. Officially, I'm called Isaiah Boy. That is the name which is in all my official documents. But there is also a third name which people know, which I was given at birth. I'm Isaiah Ochieng Boy.
Okay.
Because of the first Christian name, that is Isaiah, people also Christian me as Janabi, because Isaiah was a prophet. Janabi means a prophet in Kijalu. Again, there is also another name which they have also Christian me with. They call me Kotwonchiem. Kotwonchiem means that it is people get food because of rains. It is rains like rain-fed agriculture. So Kotwonchiem means it is the rains which give people food. I think this one came because I've been helping people so much. And so they say I'm like rain, which when it falls, it gives people food. I reside in Homa Bay Town constituency, and that is where I was also born. And I live in Homa Bay Town East Ward, the upper part of it. That is basically Road Japan. So that is where I am.
So you also called a CPA,
Yes.
and you've been doing some work in accounting. Why do you feel that you want to leave to go to politics? What is your motivation?
My career, I've been a public servant for almost 35 years. I can say precisely 35 years.
Okay.
Because I was employed as an accountant in January 1987. And when I resigned from the public service, that was February 2022. So you can see, if you calculate, it is exactly 35 years. During that period, I worked in very many places. I was in the central government. And before I moved to Homa Bay County, I served as the regional internal auditor. The regional internal auditor of North Rift region. You see, the Rift Valley is divided into two regions. So I was the head of internal audit in the North Rift region. So I can say that I've done whatever I wanted to do with my CPA training. But I would say that I want to leave my career because there are also very many professionals in the National Assembly. Lawyers are there, so many professionals are in the National Assembly, but that does not mean they have left their profession for this other work. They do them side by side. The lawyers' firms keep on running, and they also legislate or do whatever they are supposed to do in Parliament. That is the same way I'm saying I will not be leaving my career for this alone, but I will be doing them side by side.
Also, the political office does not diminish your contribution in other areas. So what I want to know is that how is your training, and how have you been equipped now to take on the new mandate? How is your training going to help? Which are the skills you're bringing on the table?
Okay, number one, I would say that it is the training which is going to help me in the new mandate I want to take. But what is important is the conviction. How do you want to help your people? How do you want to address the needs of your people? How do you want to help them overcome the challenges they are facing? That is what is very important. As a politician, that one I believe is what is very important, more than even the training. And that is why you may find that an accountant may not be doing as well as a lawyer, for example, or an economist, for example, but it depends on what do they want to do to their people. That is what is most important when you go to politics. Because I believe you don't go to politics just for the sake of going to politics. You go to politics when you have identified that your people maybe have some challenges, so they are suffering something, And that is why now you want to go to politics, because you find that if you are not in a particular office, you cannot address those challenges. But when you are sent to a particular office, then you would be in a position to address those challenges.
So I think that's a very powerful way, and it means that it's you are not just going there because of the qualification, but because of your passion
Yes.
to help the people, and that's a very strong motivation, the passion.
Yes.
That's very great. And so we also want to know, how have you been able to assist people before, and so that from your track record we can be confident that you're going to do more if you're given this responsibility.
That one, I think the people I've assisted would be best placed to say, because me, I don't assist somebody to announce or to get popular.
Or the projects,
but what I want to say,
projects you have
without
done,
zeroing in on individuals, is that when I take, for example, Bureau Secondary School, I became the chairman board of management in the year 2002, and I served up to the year 2016. When I took over the management of that school, there was only one block. Yeah, there was only one block, which was supposed to be housing everything, all the school activities, the classes, the offices, the library, and everything. And then there was just a construction which was going on for a laboratory. Now, when I took over, in the 15 or so years I was there, I managed to get 3 blocks of 4 classrooms each constructed. And in the blocks, there are also 4 offices in each block. So during my tenure there as the chairman, I managed to get 3 blocks constructed with 4 classrooms each. So that is a total of 12 classrooms. And within the blocks, there were also 4 offices for the departmental heads and some teachers. So there were also now 12 additional offices. Apart from those tuition blocks, during my period, we managed to construct a kitchen, we managed to construct a teacher's twin house, and we also managed to acquire a bus for the school. That is one project I'm very proud of. And even without talking much about the physical infrastructure, the performance of Bureau then was not comparable to any other school within the constituency. We had Homa Bay School, we had Uganda Girls High School, which were established schools, but the performance of Bureau then was beating them, and they were wondering how. It was just because of the partnership we had. Now, based on that, the community of Marindi called upon me, having seen the success which was in Bureau. So they also called upon me to help them establish a girls' secondary school, because they were saying Bureau was far and the girls had to wake up at dawn and go to Bureau. So they wanted a place where their girls could go without having to wake up early and face all the risk of traveling and the rest. But they believed in me and trusted me because what they had seen in Bureau. So I agreed, and together with some people of the community, like Engineer Chris Agong and the then Councillor Lavisa, we agreed that we were going to start a girls' school in Marindi, which we did. And for Marindi, I can say that the first class, the pioneer class, it consisted of about 25 girls. And to make sure that the girls stayed in school, because they also came from humble backgrounds, I sponsored half of the class. And previously they have spoken in the forum. I sponsored half the class. That was around 15 girls then. Apart from sponsoring those girls to ensure that they were going to be in school throughout, I was paying the teachers whom we engaged to start the school. And I also housed the principal in one of my places, that is Hotel Tawusi, for 1 year. Accommodated the principal with that is accommodation and food, everything combined. And that is how we helped Marine girls to get started. So you see, there was a lot I was doing, which I can say was going back to the community. Now, when Marine Girls was still growing also. Now it is a very big school and people are proud to be associated with it. In fact, people who just found it already existing, some of them now say they were part and parcel of the development of Marine.
Yeah.
But if there was anybody who may take credit of the Marine Girls, it is those I've mentioned, plus the community, yeah, and maybe other very few people whom I may not be able to name all of them. One thing I wanted to add on Marindi is that there is a 2 classroom block in Marindi now. That one I did on my own personally, without even calling for any help from anyone. And that block is still there being used in Marindi Girls. Number 3, around 2002, the glory of Homa Bay School, the past glory had diminished completely. And it was a school almost going down the drain. So the people of Homa Bay also asked me, I can say specifically, there was a director in the Ministry of Education then, Mr. Martin Mwana. He approached me to come and be in the management of Homa Bay School to help restore the glory which had really diminished. I think it remains to be on record that I'm the longest serving chairman, board of management of Homa Bay School, because I served for 20 years, from 2002 to 2022. And what we managed to do was to bring back the past glory of Homa Bay. And I really thank the then principal whom we used, Mr. Andrew Bob, because he really gave it his all. So we took Homa Bay from where it had gone to the drains and brought it back to the past glory. Yes. So Homa Bay started performing again, and we also built a lot of infrastructure during that time in Homa Bay. So many of them, including the current office administration block, was built during my time there.
Thank you so much. I know the list is endless.
Yes. There is one particular one I also want to mention.
Okay.
Because it is very important and dear to the people there.
Okay.
This is Osiri Primary School.
Okay.
Yeah. Osiri Primary School. Osiri is a place where, you don't know, it is not an island, but it's somehow an island. Because it doesn't have a school, and all the children have to cross the road, the tarmac road, when they are going for school somewhere else. So they also approached me, and they say they have had deaths because of road accidents. And they wanted, at least, even if not all the primary going kids, they wanted at least even the lower primary to have a place where they can go. They had started building something, and they just made a makeshift, a makeshift Nabati classroom. So they approached me, and that one, the reason why I didn't want to leave it is because the people there are so much appreciative of it. I built a block on my own which houses an office and 3 classrooms, and it is still there. And the community there has appreciated so much because now the young ones can have somewhere they go without necessarily crossing the road. And as a result, the risks are reduced.
Thank you so much.
Lastly,
there are many. You have accomplished a lot.
Yeah, lastly, what is very important to people again is the bursary I've been offering to needy students. I've been offering this bursary for the last almost 20 years. Yes, and there are people who have learned and are even now earning a living because of that bursary offer. So this is very important to the people of Homa Bay, and if I fail to mention it as among the achievements or the contributions I've made to our people, people would wonder that why was I not mentioning that. So the bursary I've been giving, sometimes I make it a very big event, sometimes I just do with a few people who come to approach me, which they continue doing up to now, despite the fact that there is an established bursary fund by the government of Kenya.
Thank you so much. I think I had someone say even some members of parliament, you have been able to educate them. So you have done a lot.
Yeah, they said themselves, because I told you, me, I don't announce when I do something. But those members of parliament, they say to themselves that I help them
Yes.
in education.
Yeah. So what are the mistakes and failures you've had in the past, and what have you learned going forward from them as a human being?
Me, I don't think I've had a failure in the past, because whatever I settle to do, I make sure that it is done and it is successful. That is why I was giving you the story even of those schools. All of them are success stories. There is no failure. If there is any failure, maybe it comes after I've left the institution.
Okay.
What could be there is that things are done step by step. I would say that some of my personal projects may not have achieved them in time or as scheduled, but that does not mean that they are failures. It is just that there have been challenges, but they are still ongoing.
Thank you so much. So you have the Midas touch, and Homa Bay Town needs you.
Yes.
That is very good. So walk us through a day, a common man's challenges in Homa Bay Town, and what do you think you're going to change as an MP, or what will be your interest in changing those challenges of the common person?
You see, when we talk Homa Bay, I was born in Homa Bay.
Okay.
My primary school I did in Homa Bay Primary School here. My secondary school I did in Rapogi. But again, during our days, there was also A level. So my A level again, I came and I did in Homa Bay School. My life basically is in Homa Bay.
Okay.
Even out of the 35 years I served in the public service, 10 of those years was in Homa Bay when I served as the county secretary. So when we talk about Homa Bay, I've seen it, the way it has been changing from the early 70s up to now. But when we want now to talk about what is happening now, there's been population surge. The population has increased so much. And with the increase in population, a lot of pressures on resources also come. And that is what I've been seeing in Homa Bay. Because there are no formal employments, people have to seek alternative ways. And the only way open to people are small-scale trade. The youth have turned to the border. The women have turned to small-scale trade of fish, of grains, groceries, everything. So that is what happens in Homa Bay. But what points that people are struggling in Homa Bay is the way, you see, when a politician maybe stands somewhere, what people expect of him is just handout. Why would people expect handout from somebody? It is because they are facing challenges in life. I'm sure you would not run to a politician to give you a handout, maybe because you yourself, you know how you live your life.
Yeah.
But these people are facing challenges. Some borders, they say they can even go to their workstations, and even for 2 days they don't get customers. Same to the women who do small trade. So Homa Bay, what I see is that it is a population of people struggling, and they need to be helped, at least even to reduce that struggle, because I'm sure you cannot eradicate it, but some steps should be done at least to reduce the struggle. So in Homa Bay, I'm still seeing a struggling population. Yes.
Thank you so much. And that leads us to the next question. What are some of the promises specific you can give to the people in Homa Bay, and so that they be motivated to come and vote for you in the coming general election?
As an MP, I will be the patron of the CDF, the Constituency Development Fund, which all constituencies get.
Okay.
And when you want to look at back, why, what was the objective of introducing CDF in the country's constitution? It was for infrastructural and socio-economic development.
Okay.
And it was also to reduce inequality
Okay.
in resource distribution in the whole of Kenya. But you see that the people who are patronizing now this fund, some of them are mismanaging it.
Yeah.
They use it as their personal tools to to manipulate the electorate. And that is what exactly I don't want to do. And the promises I want to give the people of Homa Bay is that when I assume that office, this fund will also be used to empower them. You see, at the moment, the patrons, let me talk about Homa Bay. I don't want to talk about other places.
Okay.
But you see, at the moment in Homa Bay, the incumbent will just say, I've done this. I've built your school. Our friends at school, I've done this. But he has not addressed the economic empowerment part of the CDF. Because CDF was supposed to bring infrastructural development and socio-economic development. So he's only addressing the social goods part of it, not the economic empowerment part of it. And that is what I want to bring different from what is happening now. I'm saying that when, for example, we are building schools or even building administration offices, fencing schools, like that is what is being done now, whichever, then my vision is to give our women the contracts to do.
Okay. So the promise number one is the contracts.
The contracts which will empower our women.
Okay.
Then, as we empower our women, we will also not forget about the youth. So we will also be empowering our youth with the same contracts. You know, you cannot sustain empowerment with fundraisers.
Yeah,
But CDF money is money which comes every year and it is budgeted and it must be there.
yes,
So if you really want to empower your people, then you can use this fund to empower them because it is in the constitution, it is budgeted, and you will not be requiring somebody's permission to use it. The procurement law says that at least 30% should be given to women and youth. It doesn't set the upper ceiling. It just says at least 30%. So if you want to give the youth 100 and women 100%, you can give. Of course, you cannot do that. But what I want to say is, I want to empower our women and youth. And for me, the contracts, 50% of the contracts which will be done by the CDF should go to women. Say at least 30% goes to the youth. Then the remaining 20% can be left general for the people. Because the youth, you know, the youth from up to age, I think 35, they form a very big percentage of our population.
Yeah, like 70%.
Yes, and even the women, yes. So that is why I'm going to give priority to them. So the promise I'm going to give them is that I'll use the CDF money, not around the money, because that one I cannot rely on. I will just use the CDF money to empower them. Yes.
Another promise.
Another promise is that the problem our people face now, the biggest problem they face now is funding education of their children, especially in high school, colleges and the rest. That is the biggest problem our people are facing now. If you go out there and question anybody, what is my biggest problem? They will tell you, my child has been sent away for fees, my child's hostel has been locked, they cannot get in, my child's registration fees cannot be paid, they have been denied exam card, things like that related to education. So I'm coming up with a policy where bursary will be distributed by the people themselves. Yes, we will be allocating bursaries to the centers and it will be disseminated to where the people are. So the people will be distributing the bursary themselves. You see, to drive the point home, I'm saying, for example, if there is a polling center, a primary school called Ngere. Ngere is in Arujo ward in Homa Bay town. Yes. So we find that Ngere, for example, has 3 clans. So if we give Ngere, just an example, 1 million, then they will divide the 1 million amongst the clans themselves. Then within the clans now, it can be easy, very easy for them to know whom to benefit from the bursary fund. And that is the policy I'm coming up with, to ensure that bursary will be distributed fairly, and it will not be done by my office, it will be done by the people themselves. Yes.
Thank you so much. Then you can talk to them.
Yes. Awacho ni gik ma akete singo ni abiro timo ne jowa en mokwongo ni gimiluongo ni empowerment. Pesa mar CDF ni nokele ni sama ogero gik mamoko to jowa bende konyore kuome. Ok ni kogero klas kata ogero ofis mar chief kata assistant chief moro kata ochielo skul to ni koro ni mago kende e ohala mwayudo kuome. Sama wayudo ohala mar gik mogerogo to winjo bende wan wawegi bende wayude konyruok kaluwore gi ohala mwanyalo timo. Ma emomiyo an awacho ni tenda te kata contracts ma CDF biro chiwo ng'enygi abiro miyo minewa kokalo kuom groups ma gintie. Mine ma Homa Bay sani chiegni te nyaka yud ka nitie group ma gin kamoro ma gintie. Koro an awacho ni ka tich moro owuok kata ni dwa dhi tim kata roga for example, to wabiro wacho ni ka en kata chielo skul to wacho ni women groups oriwre kata beach mar roga kanyo. To ka giseriwore to gin ema wamiyogi tenda mar chielo skundno. Ka en tenda ma inyalo yude ohala kata 500,000 kata 1,000,000, to kane gin women groups kata beach ka gipogo ohalano to giyudo ka group ka group oyudo kata siling 100,000 kata 200,000 kaluwore gi tijno ni noduong' maromo nade. Pesa ni ka jo group odok kode to o empower jo group ni nikech koro ginyalo yudo kama giole pesa. Sani awinjo ni jo Masai moko ema wuotho ema olo minewa pesa. To koseolgi pesa to ibandho gi band ma mine moko dar kata mana e miechegi nikech wach bendo. Koka jogo bende awinjo ni ong'e bendo mok ber ma oluwi kata e chiro kata kuma nade. Koro ata wacho ni mondo wagol gie masira machalo kama, pesa mar CDF ni ema wadwa empower go mine kuom miyogi contracts. To sama empower mine ni to yudhe be ok wilgo. Kwa miyo mine otimo contracts 50%, to yudhe bende timo contracts kata 30%. Koro 20% bende nyalo dong' ne joma moko. Mane kaka aneno ni anyalo konyo mine wa gi yudhe wa nikech tije onge. Kati wachi ni wabiro manyo tich, inyalo manyo tich ne ji 2. To joma odong' tete gi to ere kaka ibiro yudo negi tije. Koro nyaka iyudi yo machielo ma gibe ginyalo konyore. Ok ni joma oyudo tije gi kende ma konyore to joma odong' to koro wicho wilgo. Mane momiyo an awacho ni abiro chiwo gimiluongo ni empowerment program ne mine to gi yudhe. Ing'eyo chik mar procurement wacho ni katimo gi to 30% winjo bed ni miyo mine, yudhe to gi jok modak gi disability mopogore opogore. But ok owach ni kik ikal kiwango ni. Ochiwo mana kiwango mapiny. Matiende ni kod heri chiwo 100% no ne jogo inyalo chiwo. But an awacho ni ka bede komno to mine wabiro miyo kiwango mar 50%, yudhe 30%, to gi joma moko donge 20%. Mano namba achiel. Wach namba 2 en pok mar basari. Onge chandruok ma sani jodalawa nigo maduong'ie moloyo gimiluongo ni basari. Ma emomiyo uneno kata ka CDF omiye percentage mamalo machiegni dwa magi 50% moyieni nyalo dhi basari. Nikech somo ni ochuno ni nyaka ji som. Koda inyalo koda kinyalo to chuno. Emomiyo kata sirkal dwaro ni ka ji ae grade machielo dhi e grade machielo gidwano bed 100%. To samoro ka ng'ato osedonjo to kako odhi mbele gi somo no onge. Oko ka sani kiwuok ni wuoyo gi ji tabu ma ji nigo maduong' ok kata kech. Kech Nyasaye nogwedhowa omiyowa koth to koth miyowa chiemo. Nawacho ni mano momiyo samoro iluongo ni koth wuon chiemo. Koro Nyasaye miyowa koth to koth miyowa chiemo kata ka ok oromo to ng'ato yude matin. To wach mar somo ni koro en chandruok maduong' ma pok odwaro yudo. Koro an awacho ni basari wabiro pogo kaluwore gi ng'eny mar ji e gweng' ka gweng'. Ka wawuondo ni skul moro machalo kata biero ni gi ji 1,000, wabiro ng'iyo registration margi nikech mane mabiro bedo gima chalo ranyisi kata indicator ni to population makanyo romo nade. Kwa dhi e skul machielo kata wawuondo ni majiwa, wang'iyo ni joma register kanyo gin kata ji 500,000. Kamano wang'iyo skul wagite. To wabiro go kwan budget mar pesa mar basari to wapogo gi kaluwore gi ng'eny mar ji. Koro ka wawuondore kata ni majiwa wamiyo 1.5 million kaluwore gi ng'eny margi. To 1.5 million no wang'eyo ni majiwa kanyo bende nitiere clans mopogore opogore. Koro gibedo to gikone 1.5 million ni ere kaka jo clan yudo mane mamano bende wabiro konyo gi timo kaluwore gi voters register. To ka pesa koro osedhi ogik e clan yawa, ok onyal tamo gi pogo. Koro en pesa ma ubedo kaka joot, un mung'e ni koro wadwa pogo, nyathi ng'ane ni kama kama, nyathi ng'ane ni kama kama, nyathi ng'ane ni kama kama. To wapogo pesa no ma ok ni nyaka idhi sechi, ni dwa ni sechi e pesa ni. To kendo gigolo gimoro ni nyithindo ma ni ok somo e Homa Bay town constituency ni jo basari ok migi. Kech kubedo e nyuondu, koro kwero nutamo nyathiu madhi e national school, to mano wacho. Kwero nutamo nyathiu manie college, mano wacho. To pesa mar basari an abiro tero mondo jopiny ema opog kendgi giwegi. Mano e yo maneno ni pesa ni nyalo pogore go maber, maonge mibadhi kata ng'anyo jowa mamoko. Wach mar adek, ma dwani mondo aket kaka singo ne joga, en ni mwandu mag piny nyaka bi pogo maber. To mwandu mag piny ni wabiro pogo kaluwore gi mana formula mipogo go CDF koa e national cha, bende wabiro poge go ka waduogo e kor gweng'. To ok ni mwandu mag piny ni kabedi ofis to ni koro an ma decide ni un amiyou marom kama, jogi amiyo marom kama. Mwandu ok mara, en mar jopiny. Owinjo bed ni jopiny ema poge kendgi, ok ni ng'ato ma giyiero ema poge. Article number 1 mar Constitution wacho maber ni the sovereign power ni kuom jopiny, ok kuom joma giyiero. Joma giyiero nyalo mana konyo gi tiyo gi power no, but power owuon ni kuom japiny. Emomiyo an awacho ni pogo mwandu jopiny wabiro bedo to giko ni mae kaka wapoge. To kosepoge ma ji ong'e ni area ni yudo ma, kata kowapoge wards, wang'e ni Homa Bay Town East oyudo ma, Homa Bay Town Central oyudo ma, Arujo oyudo ma, Homa Bay Town West oyudo ma. To jogo bende machako bedo kendgi ni wan kuom wayudo ni, wadwa ni ilosnwago gima chalo kama. Ma biro golo wa e wach moro ni ng'ato bede mesane to ng'ado ni en koro dwa timo gima en ema wiyo miye. Kata ka koro jopiny ok dwar, to koro gini inyal tim, to pesa ji kethore kanyo. To sama otime to pesa ji kethore no, to jomoko to ywak kamoro ni pesa no dine wayudi, dine otimonwa gima chalo kama. Koro mae promise mar adek madwa miyo jopiny ni an pesa na jopiny ema biro pogo kendgi, to kendo dongruok mibitim jopiny ema biro ng'ado kendgi, ok ni abiro ng'ado negi.
Erokamano. Koro los gi youth, jo Gen Z, many of them will give up about leaders.
Yes.
And why are you a better leader? Why do you think you are a better leader, better suited for this job? And lastly, is okay, what should they do from here after listening to you? Should they register? Should they?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The advice I can give to the Gen Zs is that running away from a problem is not solving a problem. If they decide that they don't want to vote, that is like running away from the problem, which will not solve the challenges they are facing. They should face the decision making of electing their leaders. They are the majority. They can speak and they determine the type of leadership which will be elected in all the areas, all the electoral areas. So I want to tell them that let them not run away. Let them register, and not just registering. Come in the great numbers to vote on the voting day. At the moment people will be campaigning, let them listen to what the people will be saying, the policies the people will be selling, and let them see which policies will be helping in addressing their challenges. Then they can vote the people who will be accountable to them. But when they run away, that means the people who will be elected will not be accountable to them. So they will not be in a position to put much pressure on them. Yeah? They will not be in a position to put much pressure on them because they did not elect them. So let them participate fully in the elections so that they will tell, you know, we have the population data and we know the percentage of the youth. Yes. So if the youth vote you, that means they base it on the promises you have given them. And if they vote you, obviously you will have to deliver on the promises which you give them. So what I want to advise them is not to run away from voting. Let them elect leaders whom they believe will be helping them in addressing the challenges they are facing. Yes.
Thank you so much. And to sum it up, how do you see your candidature being beneficial to the ordinary Homa Bay County person, especially the youth? You've talked about empowering the women and the school fees bursary, but there's a need now of training the young people who are not in school anymore. Yes, they have the education, but now they want the equipping to learn how to manage their money, and also skills that can be found that are informal. Do you have anything about equipping them, maybe in so? Do you have a project like maybe trainings? Even these women, maybe the ones Matimogiko and Chwage, they may not need a lot of management, but maybe they grouping them together, equipping them how to manage money. Is there anything like that?
Yeah, I used to do that, especially for the youth, training them on their skills, not necessarily on business management. Like there was a time I was sponsoring a number of youths to driving, because like when you find this border people, most of them don't have licenses. Yeah. And I used to take them in groups for training in driving to help them acquire licenses.
Okay.
But what I want to say is that, when you empower, the empowerment I was talking about, when you empower them and they have that money, they can also use that money to further empower themselves, even in terms of skills and others. That is why we're saying, what is sustainable is this CDF money, because it is already budgeted and we are sure it will be there. So the only thing you can do is to make sure that this money is used appropriately for the benefit of our youth and also our women. So I'm saying whatever I've been doing, I've just been doing it out of my own goodwill. But now when I'm in that position, I will be compelled, I will be under obligation to do what will be helping our people. Okay. So if it is necessary to train, then there will be other ways of doing that.
Thank you so much. You've heard it from the horse's mouth, and he's going to live up to his name of Janabi and Kotwon. So let us rally behind him, let us support the vision, and let us see it manifest to the glory of God. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.